Hi, you guys. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Today is August the 2nd. But, baby, whenever you find this video, it is for you, right? I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in the algorithm. I feel like the Lord brought you here because either you on the brink of crashing out, you burnt out, you not sure where to go next, you lonely, you ain't got nobody. You might even have somebody, and you could really be in a relationship and still be lonely. So listen when I tell you. Don't tune off. You need this story times that's about to come up. You need the tears that's about to be shed. You need me to hold space for you in this season of your life. And I know this to be true, or the video wouldn't have popped up for you, right? So first and foremost, good morning. How you doing? Don't lie. How you really doing, right? All too often we say okay. Whole time we not even really maintaining or barely just hanging on. I know this to be certain, right? Some of us working at home in this season, when you work at home and you live at home, baby, the lines get blurred, and I know this to be true. And then you got the chatter from the job, you got the chatter from your family or your mate, or just your other family members who feel like when you working at home that you're not working. You work 10 times harder when you at home to ensure that your employer know that you really are working, right? And to keep your job. So when you log off, you sit there, you process. Whole time you got your kids and your husband and the chatter outside the office door. When you gonna cook dinner? I got soccer practice. I need help with my homework. My mental health is waning, but the whole time I got my family outside the door. I got my job daily stressing me out. Who helps me out? How do I maneuver, right? And for some of y'all, that is you. That was me a couple months ago, right? I'm a pusher througher, so I'm always gonna push through. Even on the mental days, I'm just gonna push through. It just became too much. It literally just became too much. Did I have the nervous breakdown? Nope. I got my village. I went within. I prayed. I asked for confirmation. A video popped up on YouTube, right? I left social media a couple months ago. So now my vice is YouTube. A video popped up and the video said, I asked for confirmation, and the video popped up and said, baby, you keep getting what you getting in this season of your life because you keep saying what you don't want. Start saying what you do want and watch what will happen. Y'all, I'm always a forever grateful person, right? I'm always gonna pay it forward. That's just me. I'm a gift giver. I'm a giver. I'm always gonna hold space for those that I love and even those that I don't know. And it's just me, and that's just something that the Lord has always put on me, and that's how I maneuver in my life. That gives me a sense of peace, and that gives me a sense of gratitude, right? And if I was to die today, I would die knowing that I've done my job on this earth, literally, for the amount of people that I have fed into and planted a seed. I know that I would be okay. For some people, they ain't there yet. Me, I'm there, mentally and emotionally. So back to what I was saying. For some of y'all, you gotta stop saying what you don't want in this season of your life, because you saying what you don't want and you just keep getting that. That was me. I'm tired of my manager dumping the work on my head. Yet and still every day, 2, 3 extra reports dumped on my head. 2, 3, 4 extra people need help. I need you to retrain X, Y, and Z, right? Literally, this was every day at my job. I kept saying what I didn't want in my relationship, in my finances, in my day-to-day life. And I kept getting what I didn't want, right? So when this video popped up, I'm like, baby, bro, you ain't got nothing to lose. Girl, you ain't got nothing to lose. Start saying what you do want. I started saying, look, I want a job that comes with a sense of peace. Baby, I don't want to be micromanaged. I want to be able to be an effective leader in my new role. I want to be a manager making triple my salary with bonuses and unlimited PTO. I'm huge into volunteer work, so Lord, can the company be huge into philanthropy? And can the interview process be like how I interview? And when I interview my people, I talk to them. I don't ask them, what did you do 10 years ago? What's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? Because honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I can talk to you, and I can talk to you and instantly know if I'm gonna hire you or not. I'm good at choosing people's character, so I can instantly know if you're gonna work or not. I'm pretty good at gauging if you lying to me in the interview, right? And it ain't never set me wrong. And I lead with my intuition. And thus far, I have had phenomenal associates, and my retention rate has always been high. And I pride myself on that, right? I pride myself on how I lead my people effectively by holding space, leaning in, knowing who has kids that stay sick, knowing who has a husband that ain't there. Just knowing when you hold space, they come to work with their grief, their family problems, their mama issues, their brother issues. And baby, you listen like a therapist, a counselor, a friend, a sister, and you hold space. At least I do, right? At least I do. I think that's effective management. So listen, and listen with intention when I tell you. It's going to be okay, first and foremost. But second of all, start saying what you do want in this season. And baby, say it with conviction. Watch God show up and show out. Baby, listen, I started saying what I wanted. It wasn't even a week later. I started getting job rejections. Yes, job rejections. And I started being thankful for the rejections, y'all. I got this rejection from this company, and I was like, what the? I called my coworkers that I work with because we in the trenches together and trying to leave this job, y'all. I called them up quick. Brr. Hey, Keisha and Amber and Jorge, I got a freaking job rejection. Ro got a job rejection. They were shocked that I was excited, right? But I'm going to tell you why I was excited. I was excited because my resume and cover letter made it to somebody in the HR's department desk, and they had to physically come back and reject me. It didn't get knocked out by AI and never made it to the manager's desk. So in this season, I was like, baby, I'm gonna be grateful for the rejections because my home girls and my coworkers was applying and not even getting the rejection letters, right? And previous months prior, when I wasn't wholeheartedly into trying to leave my job, but was in the process of trying to get there mentally and emotionally, I was applying and not even getting the rejection letters, right? And that's deflating. And that's disheartening when you putting in all this work, getting your resume together, sending it out, only for you not even to get a kiss my ASS. I went with Judy down the block. Baby, you couldn't even give me the rejection? I hate that with a passion. So when I got that rejection letter, y'all, Ro was over here doing a praise dance. My husband couldn't understand it. Hell, my kids couldn't even understand it, right? But in that moment, I was like, God, I see you working. I see you working, and I know it's coming. So I just kept applying. I was using ChatGPT, and I'm going to give y'all some tips within this video. So please take these tips and do them because I'm helping my employees who want to leave my job and other jobs and people that I know. And I feel like the Lord has told me in this season of my life, I need to be like Harriet Tubman, helping people on the Underground Railroad get employed, right? Or just leave the employer with a sense of peace. And so here I am. Hey, y'all, good morning. Okay, so anyway, take your resume, go on LinkedIn. They do a free 30-day subscription. Do the 30-day trial if you're already not set up on there and paying, right? I'm going to tell you why. The trial allows you to see who views your profile. I started getting headhunters hunting me down. I didn't even put on my LinkedIn profile that I was looking for a job. I didn't want nobody to know in this season what the heck I was doing. And the Lord kept saying, keep your mouth shut, head down, do your day job, and move accordingly with what I tell you to do. I was being steadfast, y'all. So what you need to do is, again, go on LinkedIn, 30-day free trial, set your account up, use ChatGPT to get your description. And then when you find a job that you like, copy the job description, put it in ChatGPT, take your current resume, put it in ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT, can you please take my current resume, scrub it up, and make it match this job description? Can you write it like a human wrote it who's been writing resumes for 25 years? Can you please make sure that it is not going to be vetted by AI or look like AI wrote it? And can you give me a cover letter back? Can I get this in Word and PDF and sit back and watch it work? And ChatGPT will give you back exactly what you need to apply for the job. Now, the only caveat to that is you have to make sure that every job that you're applying for, you redo your resume to match that job and the cover letter, right? So what I started doing, y'all, is I would just apply for a job and I would take the resume and the cover letter and name it that job. That way, if I got an interview, I knew what the cover letter said. I knew what the resume looked like, right? The very next week after the praise and worship dance, actually not even the next week, the next day after the praise and worship dance, on that initial rejection, I got an interview, right? I got an interview. I was geeked up. Y'all, I went on that Zoom meeting like my life depended on it, baby. I ain't interviewed in about eight, 9 years, right? So I was like, what is this? Man, I got on there, talked to that lady like we was old pals. I didn't get the job because I need to have billing and coding experience, right? I'm prior auth certified through ACMA, but I didn't have the billing and coding experience. But what I liked about the lady is, baby, she was like, I like you. It's something about you I like. If you get that experience, come back and let me help you find a job. Baby, you got stuff that people can't purchase, which is the vibe and the attitude, and you're knowledgeable. So let me help you. That was the first seed that God planted. She instantly came back and followed me on LinkedIn and was like, send me your resume and your cover letter with just what you have. Y'all, she was throwing out jobs that start at $200, $250 as a field representative. You know, I work in the pharmaceutical industry. And I was like, Jesus, right? In this climate, Jesus. I'm saying Jesus because for me, that's way more than I currently make in my current job that I'm transitioning from. So I was excited. Y'all, I couldn't send it quick enough. As soon as I got done with the interview with that lady, knowing I didn't have the job, y'all, I was geeked up at the fact that she was willing to help me. Somebody else messaged me on LinkedIn about a job. I knew that it wasn't paying nowhere near what I make. I put an astronomical amount when I applied. She set up the interview and called me the very next day. So I interviewed on a Monday and a Tuesday, back to back. In the second interview, she was really trying to sell me, you know, it's on campus. The max I can pay you is 26. I'm a manager. It wasn't a manager job. I don't even know how the lady found me, but I was cordial and I let her speak. Halfway through the interview, I stopped her. I said, you know, ma'am, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna be honest. The Lord is telling me to stop you. I'm not gonna waste your time or mine. I'm 100% remote currently, and going back into the office and fighting traffic in my city gives me anxiety. I don't want to have to dress up. I don't want the wear and tear on my car. You know, people are still out here sick. I'm deathly sick today. Y'all don't know it because I have my but God coffee and I'm pushing through, right? But I'm deathly sick today. I feel like a freaking Mack truck came and ran me over. But baby, the way the Lord needs you to get this message, I'ma deal with the Mack truck after the fact, right? And the Lord gonna see me through and we're gonna be okay. So, back to what I was saying. I was telling the lady, you know, driving in just gives me anxiety, and I'm really appreciative of what you did here today. Let me take it back. I'm appreciative of you reaching out yesterday on LinkedIn, and I never take an interaction for granted. So first and foremost, thank you. But I want to stop you because your max is 26. I'm well over 20. I'm out of the 20 range now. And for me, I'm appreciative, but I'm not willing to budge on what I'm wanting in my next season. Again, I told y'all, the interview to come with these, triple my salary, unlimited PTO, bonuses. She wasn't offering none of that and Ro wasn't budging. I stopped her. She was appreciative. I said, I know this interview was for an hour, but you 10 minutes in, you offering me things I'm not willing to budge on. But can I ask you a question? I have some associates that currently report to me and are looking for other jobs, and I know they looking for other jobs, and I'm their supervisor. I don't mind helping people get to the next level. If I know that we in the trenches working together and struggling, baby, let Ro help you leave this company, even if I stay here. Let me help you get your sense of peace. So I instantly asked her, hey, if I know some people, can I send you their resume? She was shocked, caught off guard. I could tell we was on, teams. I said, you look confused, ma'am. She said, I am. I said, I'm not. Either you can help them or you can't. It's as simple as that. If you can't, I'm going to help them. So I'm trying to plant the seed today with you. Not that they going to take the job because we 100% remote. But I know how they feel in this current season of their life, and I'm really trying to help my people get to the next level. So are you going to add water to the boat, or are you going to help me take water out their boat? She got confused. I wasn't confused. I was straight to the point. So at this point, we don't have nothing else to say. I was cordial. We ended the interview. So, y'all, I prayed, and I prayed on it, and I let it go. I'm going to say this. I applied for a job, not even thinking I'm going to get a rejection. I got a rejection letter that morning from another job. Baby, I did that praise and worship dance so tough, and I can't even dance. I leave my house that morning to go to Home Depot with my husband. I check my phone. Something said, check your phone. It's an interview for the job. I didn't even think I was going to get the rejection letter for y'all. Baby, the way I sat in that car and cried, I cried because something in my spirit told me, girl, this is your job. This is your job. Baby, I went and got my job 3 interviews later, and a week later, I start that job next month on the 18th. I end my final job on the 8th. The Lord is telling me that y'all need to hear this because somebody is still playing with their life in this season. Get the out your way and go get what is yours. Stop saying what you don't want and start saying what you do want. Start speaking purpose over your life, right? Because it's a lot of people outside that's speaking probably ill against you. And it starts with you, and it starts within. So go get your job, step out on faith, and go get what God got for you, right? Somebody else out there is on the verge of crashing out. Not on my shift, and I'm going to tell you why. And I asked this young lady, could I talk about her today before I'm talking about her? And she told me yes. So last week, I get this message. I get these often. I don't know why the Lord keeps sending people to me, but he do. I remember when I wanted to be a life coach, right? And it was probably about 2016, 2017. I started getting heavy into this, and I'm seeing all these people making a gaggle of money, or what they say is a gaggle of money. So in my head, I'm like, and I even remember having this conversation with my homegirl probably in 2018. I'm like, man, I'm going to be a life coach. I'm praying it through. The money wasn't there for me to take these expensive courses. It just wasn't. But y'all, look how the Lord showed up. He allowed me to be a coach without the pay. He was prepping me for when the pay do come, and I know it's coming in this season, right? Because the way that the people started coming that had issues, that didn't have nobody, might have even had a whole village but didn't have nobody. So let that sink in, because somebody in this video that's watching got a village and still ain't got nobody. You got a husband, siblings, parents, homegirls that you rock with tough whole time. Can't tell them about your mental health. Can't tell them about your struggles. Can't tell them when you get agitated or pissed off. Baby, you got a village, but you ain't got a village. Listen when I tell you, you got a village, but baby, you ain't got a village. And I don't care who's tuning in, man, woman, child. This is for somebody, right? So the Lord started sending the people, and heavy. I was holding space. That's what I do, leaning in. It takes a toll. I can start telling, I don't know what I got. I ain't even gonna try to diagnose this because I don't be calling sickness down on myself. And that's for somebody too. Stop calling sickness down on your damn self. Start speaking vitality over your life. Y'all, I don't get sick. So for me, this is taking a toll because I really don't get sick. But what I think in this season is I don't think I'm sick. I think I just been holding space for so many people over these last couple of weeks. My body has absorbed the energy, and I'm just a little run down, and I'm going to lead with that. And me and my But God cup and my coffee is going to lead with that, right? So with that being said, I wanted to be a life coach, and he just started sending them and sending them and sending them. I didn't say the prayer of, God, I want to be a life coach, send the people with the money. Nah, I was open-ended. God, I want to be a life coach. You gonna send the people. He started sending them immediately. My coworkers, my friends, just people I'm meeting. I can meet people in the supermarket and they don't know me, and we could just start talking. By the time we done, I know they drive for Uber. They got 12 kids. Their husband is cheating. They lonely, depressed. They waiting on a lawyer to give them a call back for their disability claims. I mean, literally, I don't know why this happens, but it does, right? So I just been maneuvering in these seasons of my life and holding space and doing what the Lord has asked me to do. So last week, Thursday, I get this text message. Miss Rochelle, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm about to crash out. About an hour had passed before I seen the text message. Get your tissue because I got mine. This story about to get a little heavy. It's about mental health and depression and some things that's heavy. So I seen it about an hour later and I went into panic mode. Crashing out said something to me that I wasn't ready for. So what I did is I called the young lady up quick. Hey, Morgan. Y'all, she was crying so hard, ultra hard. I said, Morgan, what's the matter? I knew something tragic had happened this time last year, and I figured that was the case around her, around the tragedy that happened, in her life and affected her family, truly affected her family. She kept saying, Miss Rochelle, I can't calm down. Couple weeks ago, in a meeting at my job, I'm typically the one that does all the talking. I'm a supervisor, but was treated like a manager, so I do a lot of things behind the scene at my job. We're in a meeting with my team. We're training them on something, and I'm typically the one doing the training and all the talking. For some odd reason, I didn't have to this day. But in this meeting, y'all, I started having a full-blown panic attack. Literally a panic attack, and I can't tell you why. I called my coworker, who's my peer, and she's a nurse. And I called her quick. I said, look, Lakeisha, I don't know why I'm having this, but I can't get it together. So Lakeisha's like, Ro, you in fight or flight? 6 deep breaths, 6 deep breaths, 6 deep breaths. I instantly start breathing, y'all, and it got under control. A couple weeks later, we in another meeting. The same thing happened. This time I'm in a client meeting and I'm panicking because I'm the one that knows the damn program from my side. So I'm typically the one doing all the speaking. My program manager is new. Mind you, I'm a supervisor. Again, I gotta be calling Keisha. Keisha, I'm having another panic attack and I don't know why. So instantly, again, Keisha talked me down. Sorry for crying, y'all, but the Lord needs y'all to see this. I told you it's gonna cry, laugh, be taken on a journey. This is the part that's about to get heavy. So when I called this young lady, I said, Morgan, what's the matter? I'm pretty sure the issue that happened this time last year is part of the problem. Baby, let Ro help you. Let me go and do what I do. Let me, God, give me what I need in this moment to help this young lady. I said, okay, Morgan, I'm honest with you. I've been having panic attacks in meetings. She's my associate. And I asked her, could we talk about this? And I said, Morgan, I know this is the first year of the incident. And she said, Miss Rochelle, you didn't forget. Baby, Miss Rochelle ain't just your supervisor. I'm different. We rock different. Let me help you. She was crying so hard. And I said, okay, I went to Keisha. I thought about my peer instantly. And I thought, okay, Ro, do what Keisha did for you. So I said, Morgan, when I had my panic attack, Keisha told me to breathe it through, right? 6 deep breaths. So she started breathing. She stopped crying, y'all, instantly. And she said, I don't know what you did, but I was on the phone with my mama for a whole hour and my mom couldn't calm me down. So I said, that's okay. Let's just talk about it and talk it through. And she started talking to me about what was going on, right? And I said, okay. I instantly went within and I said, let's chunk it up. Let's chunk it up. Let's work it out. Let Miss Rochelle help you work it out. So with your family, you got to go back and tell them, look, I'm dealing with a lot right now. I might not be able to have this gathering at my house this weekend. You know, I can't do it. I said, and baby, let me tell you this. The situation is a lot. Hold space for those that are mourning, but be firm in your boundaries and your convictions, because baby, you mourning too. You can't be the dumping ground when you mourning too. Third and foremost, I know this job is stressful as hell. I'm in the trenches with you every day. So with that being said, let Miss Rochelle help you. Baby, I've been over here helping her. I had to go within and I said, let me tell you this, crashing out, just hearing that ain't an option for me. Not in this season of my life. It's not. And it's not because in 2015, my baby decided to crash out. If I wouldn't tell you, you wouldn't know. This is what I'm telling her, and if I wouldn't tell y'all, y'all wouldn't know. He's still here, got a whole degree, living his best life. But in that moment, I instantly thought about my baby. I instantly thought about what I went through. I thought about when I got in that ambulance and I said a prayer to God in that ambulance. And I said, listen, God, I don't ask you for shit. I pay it forward. I pay my tithes. I'm the neighbor that people are good with. I ain't adding stress to nobody's life. I don't know what happened with my baby, but I know he's in the back on a gurney, and all I'm asking is that you save my baby's life. Y'all, I got to the hospital. He's seizing off the table. I've been doing my YouTube channel for some time and wasn't sure if I was going to tell y'all this, but the Lord is telling me somebody need to hear this. He was seizing off the table, y'all. When you see your baby seizing off the table, and you got people over here saying, I think he's going to be in a vegetative state for the rest of his life, I instantly went within because I know who I travel with. I know how me and Jay rock. I know how the Lord works in my life. Doctor, he gonna be in a vegetative state. I'm telling the doctor, you telling me this, but me and God rock differently, and I know that ain't gonna be the case. Then again, I didn't even know what was going on. All I know is we in the ambulance, we at the hospital, he's seizing off the table. So when this young lady told me this, I'm like, Morgan, I was honest with her. My baby crashed out in 2015. Baby, your mama can't experience this. Your baby can't experience this. The pain that you feel, I can't let your mama feel this pain, right? So if you need me to fucking show up and sit on your couch and bring coffee and lattes and not even say nothing, you call Miss Rochelle. If you need to come stay with me in this season of your life, you call me. But what you're not about to do is crash the fuck out on my shift. So again, I don't know who this is for, and I'm being brutally honest with you at this time. Baby, if you about to crash out, you got the game fucked up outside. If you about to crash out, call the number, reach out, call somebody. Clearly, you needed this today. Crashing out ain't an option. Baby, God got you here for a real reason. She drives, this young lady drives a Chevy truck, right? She can't be no more 125, soaking wet. Super pretty black chick, right? Brown skin, thin, good hair, good jeans. And she's super sweet. So what I did is I said, look, Morgan, let me help you. I'm going to send you these videos that I started listening to on YouTube, some job subliminals, some money subliminals, just some things I rock with in this season about gratitude, and let Ro help you get to the next level. I sent her the videos. We talked it through. I wasn't getting off that phone. I even kept saying, if I need to send first responders or come, I will, and I'll come. I knew when she was okay when I got off the phone. You know, I knew she was okay. She texted me back that night, super geeked up. I was caught off guard. Miss Rochelle, I don't know what you be doing, but it works. I feel a sense of peace. Thank you for reaching out to me today. I need you in my life, right? I need you in my life. I'm like, Morgan, I need you too. Trust me, there's a reason why we met, and I don't believe in coincidences. And so, baby, I'm the cousin, auntie, TT. You didn't even know that you needed, but hey, I'm here. So the next morning, I sent her all these videos that night, and I said, look, let me help you with your resume. Let me help you. I told her about the ChatGPT thing. I told her how to redo her resume. We went on. The next morning I woke up and she was on my spirit, and I sent this message and I said, baby, let me tell you some things about you. When I met you and I seen you jump out this big black Chevy truck, I thought, damn, that little girl got out that truck. You whipped that thing in the parking lot at the job and parked it like you knew who you was in that season of your life. I said, so let me remind you, baby, my husband got a Suburban, and when I drive that thing, I have to park way over yonder at the end of the parking lot. And if I do park between two cars, I have to go in, back out, go in and back out. And then my mind is like, no, you about to hit that car. So then I'll leave and go all the way down to the end of the lot where I should have went initially. I says, let me tell you this, woman to woman, you are a phenomenal black woman. And I need you to know why. Baby, I'm pretty sure when you jump the fuck out that truck, they look at you like, damn, men and women. That little girl got out that truck? Yeah, that little girl got out that truck. I said, so Morgan, remember who you are. You somebody's mama. You somebody's daughter. You a phenomenal black woman in this season of your life. Life is gonna life, but how we show up and deal with it is what matters, right? I hope that today God shows up in your life, baby, so big and give you something so major, you don't even know he gave it to you. Let me tell you how the Lord worked. She texted me back that morning and said, Miss Rochelle, a voice message. You was really what I needed in this season of my life. I'm so appreciative of you. And I woke up today with a sense of peace. I feel completely different. I don't know what you did, but I feel completely different. Every day I'm texting, she texting. Some days I'm forgetting and she texting. Every day the text was, she was excited. She was geeked up. Conversation was different. Y'all, this is just what I do, right? This just me. This minus my day job, is really my jam. Just making sure that people are okay, feeding in, leaning in, and holding space. So she texts me on Thursday of this week, Miss Rochelle, I got a rejection letter. I said, so praise it. Praise the damn rejection letter, girl. Start getting excited because people that we know ain't getting them. People that show peers ain't getting them on our team. And I know this to be true. They miserable and they not getting them. Start doing a thankful dance when you get the rejection letter. Y'all, the job, they sent the rejection letter that she did the praise dance over. She texted me yesterday, Miss Rochelle, I got an interview for that job on Monday. I said, Morgan, look how God worked. They rejected you. You was excited for the rejection. They came back and gave you an interview. Baby, that ain't nothing but God. That ain't nothing but God. Y'all, listen, crashing out ain't an option, but Miss Rochelle helping you get to the next season of your life is, right? So the Lord wants you to know, baby, that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Crashing out, not an option. Burnt out in this season of your life, you're going to turn it around. God has more in store for you. I know he does. He's telling me he does. What you doing? Get out your way. Start praising the little things. Start being grateful for the little things. I'm always forever grateful for the little things because I feel like the little things turn into big things. And when I say the Lord is working, y'all, he's working. I told y'all, I've been trying to be a life coach for years without knowing if I was one, right? When I put in my 2-week notice at my job on Monday of this week, The way that the people showed up and fed into me, and I even put it on Teams. Y'all make me feel like I should be a therapist or a life coach. A nurse came back and said, Rochelle, you are, without the certification or the money. Baby, go get what's yours in this season, and I hope that you sow a lot of seeds in a lot of people's lives. Another young lady who I've only been working with for a month that's helping my team out. Man, she said some things to me that had me and my client meeting in shambles and that. And when I had told my job I was leaving, my client was on site this day. The way that the people called me and cried, the way that the people told me I made a difference in their life. Sorry, my son came down, asked me a question, and I had to stop the video and restart it. So anyway, the young lady who's only been on my team about a month and a half helping out wrote me this phenomenal message and just basically held space for me and said, that's what I do for them. And I never made her once feel unintelligent. I always held space, leaned in, made her feel important. Those are the qualities that people wish they could buy. Those are the qualities that people go to college to try to obtain and don't have them, right? Y'all, that made me feel some type of way. And then when they all kept saying, you really are the life coach, you really are the mentor. A nurse on my team messaged me Friday. And I had to sit with this. I've had to sit with every message and email that everybody has sent me, right? And I haven't responded back yet, and I need to. The nurse sent me a message and said, our North Star is leaving. What are we gonna do? You always made us feel like everything was going to be okay. Even if we felt like it wasn't, you brought us into calm. Rochelle, you brought us into peace. I had to really think about that, y'all. I called her up. We rock differently. We have went to concerts. She's a whole vibe, right? We went to Ed Sheeran, y'all. I love that man down. Hey, Ed, if you see this, hey, a black girl loves you down. And we went to see Ed Sheeran one Saturday night. And we went with our old manager and her husband, right? And the way that man kept the drinks coming, he was our DD, so he was our designated driver. We went with our own, but he just kept saying, nah, what y'all doing? Sit down and watch the show. He kept coming back with the drinks, the snacks, and then towards the end, he knew that we were all going to get to our designation point of where we got picked up at and have to drive home. So halfway through the concert, we stopped with the drinks. He started coming with the waters. He was proficient. When we got to our destination, he was like, if y'all are too drunk, leave the car, I'm gonna drive you home type situation. We had a blast, y'all. So I called her up like, even though I'm leaving this job, baby, you stuck with me for life. You like my concert partner. She was like, I like it. So those messages just made me feel some type of way. And I had to really sit back and think, God, I've been the life coach. I've been the mentor. You just knew that the people didn't have a gaggle of money to pay. So you sent them anyway, and you allowed me to hold space. You allowed me to help them get the jobs. You allowed me to help me feed into them and plant the seeds and give them what they needed in this season, which is confidence, right? Confidence is hard to come by, y'all. I know. I'm somebody that struggles with that in my own life. That's why y'all wasn't getting the YouTube videos. Getting on camera is deathly fearful for a lot of people, and for me it was. I've been praying about it. God keeps sending the videos that keep saying, in this season of your life, get from behind the camera, get in front. Let the fear subside. Girl, they need what you offering. So hey, y'all, I'm here. I'm gonna show up every day, whether I want to or not. Because again, I told y'all, at the beginning of this video, I felt sicker than a dog. For some odd reason, just me getting up, me being me, and me showcasing y'all who I really am, I'm starting to feel better, right? So, the final thing that we're gonna talk about, and boy, when I say God be showing up in my life, and somebody needs to know that he's real, tangible, does things. Some of y'all still doubting. This whole video, some of y'all still doubting. Baby, let me shut the doubt down for you on Jesus Christ himself being real, really real. Okay, it's a Saturday. Today is August the 1st. 3 Saturdays ago, I'm in my bed with my husband watching Squid Game, trying to see who's about to get shivved up next, right? And I get this phone call. And I don't know nobody in Louisiana, so I, boom, send it to voicemail. This message comes up and I'm reading it on my phone. And so something said, put your earbud in. So I put my earbud in and I'm listening to this man. Hi, I'm trying to reach Rochelle W. He said my last name, Rochelle W. I ain't been Rochelle W. since 1996, y'all. It's 2018, about 30 years. So anyway, he's like, I'm trying to reach Rochelle W. She graduated in 1995, from XYZ High School. And if this is her, can you please call me back? So y'all, I'm like, this is a damn scammer. So I start texting. The statute of limitations have ran out in 1990s. Get it from your mama if this is a bill collector. You can get it from your daddy. I don't care. You just ain't about to get it from Roy, right? I lay there and I'm like, oh, dang, then I think about it. Nah, hold on. F the Squid Games. You ain't been Rochelle W. in like 30 years. This is alarming. Check it out. Okay, so let me take y'all back a minute. So about a month ago, when I started saying what I wanted at my job, and when I started speaking positivity over my finances in life, right prior to that, this video had popped up. I'm big on science. I'm big on metrics. I'm big on I got to see the facts, right? The data, the proof, that gets me going. So this video comes up from this guy on YouTube, and the guy is a scientist. He creates apps. He do his YouTube. So what he was saying was, write this list every day, a 10-day list, and start out slow and write the list as if this stuff has already came to pass, right? So I have some list days here. I had to start over because I fell off after 2 days and then I started back up, right? But the list was just saying things like as if they had already come to pass. So if you can see, I don't even know if you can see my writing. Like this is one day of my list, right? Okay, so what I did is I started writing the list as if the things had already came to pass. And the guy was like, after 2 weeks, go back and start checking the things off your list that came to fruition. So like on my list, one day on my previous list, I wrote, somebody is gonna look at Ro like a piece of pound cake and baby, I'ma know that this was on my list and it's gonna catch me off guard. So I'm up the street at my local supermarket, right? And I'm outside pushing my cart. This is me, walking with my groceries, pushing my cart, listening to my music, probably. Yeah, Chris Brown, I think. So I'm over there listening to Chris Brown, right? Getting in my car with my groceries, and I noticed this lady out the corner of my eye. And I'm like, what the hell is she looking at me? Y'all, I turn around, she starts smiling all big. Then in my head, I'm like, that's on the list, Rose, that's on the list. I start getting hyped up. So then I start, primping a little bit. She smiles so big, y'all. It did something to me. Then I knew my list was working. So then another thing on my list was I'm going to see a beautiful butterfly. So what happened was I'm outside with my son doing some yard work and I have a butterfly bush in the front yard. The butterfly came up and I was unique in what I had wrote. It's going to be purple. It's going to come and it's not going to leave. I'm not going to intimidate the butterfly. Y'all, the way that butterfly came and fluttered around that bush and was purple and blending in with the butterfly leaves on the bush and was just pretty. It was purple and black. I had to hurry up and get my camera to take the video because I was like, I need proof. I'm a proofful person and I need proof that this was on the list. So then, y'all, I started noticing things on the list working, right? Things on the list coming to fruition. On the first or second day, one of the other things I had wrote on the list was somebody with these initials, DCAR or something like that, is going to reach out within the next 24 hours. Just let me know I was on their mind. God put me there in their spirit. They've been thinking about me. It wasn't even 12 hours later, y'all. I'm in my kitchen on my lunch break. I get a phone call. Brrr. It's my homegirl from my job that I used to work with, right? And we still keep in contact, do lunches and stuff. So I'm like, hey, Danielle, girl, how you doing? And she's talking and she's like, bro, I don't know what it is, but for about the last month, you've just been on my spirit. And for some odd reason today, I just felt compelled to call you. Y'all, that was on my list. I know I said the initials DCA and something else. Her name is Danielle. Last name starts with the C. I said in 24 hours, y'all, she called in 12. So I'm like, baby, the list is working. So then the list started getting me geeked up. And one day I forgot to write the list, and y'all, I wrote it on my phone and made sure the next morning I got up and put it on paper, right? Because I was like, it's happening, and it's happening quick. So after 2 weeks, out of 140 things, 87 things on the list came to fruition. But the big one that came to fruition, 2 big things came to fruition. First was the job. I started writing down the job on the list, and the job came to fruition. And the way in which I wrote the job down on the list came to fruition, right? And it came quickly. And it came to fruition quickly, right? So one of the other things I wrote on the list was a blast from my past. And when I say the past, I mean 20, 30 years or more. I'm 48, so I can't go 40 years or more. So I'm like 20 or 30 years or more, would reach out. It can't be nothing but God, because I'm twice removed from that last name. And I'm gonna have all the feels. I'm gonna grieve, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna be caught off guard, like all these feels. So I started to tell y'all, I'm in the bed with my husband watching Squid Games. I get the phone call, it goes to voicemail. I send the text, I don't get a response. So my nosiness and curiosity got the better of me. I get out the bed and I come downstairs into my kitchen where I'm at. And I called the number back because I didn't get a text. And it went to voicemail, and it's like, the person you're calling does not have a voicemail set up. So I stand here for a second and I'm like, nah, I gotta figure this out, because this person knows my maiden name, and how they caught me after all these years, I don't know. So I'm not correlating the list yet, right? It ain't 2 and 2 ain't put together, because I was just upstairs watching Squid Games, shiving. They was really shiving. I don't even know if shiving is well, I think that's a prison term, but they was shanking, right? They was really shanking and fighting for their life. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, the list ain't registering. I just was watching people getting shanked in hallways on Squid Games. Bro, calm down and put it together. So I called the number back. And a man picked up, y'all. And I'm like, hello. He's like, hello, ma'am. I'm like, hello, sir. This is literally the conversation, ma'am and sir. So in my head, I'm like, who is this? So I'm like, how can I help you, sir? I understand that you're trying to reach Rochelle W. that graduated in 95 from XYZ High School. I think you found the individual. How can I help you? He got quiet. And I said, okay. In my head, I'm like, he ain't telling me who he is. He know you by your maiden name. Girl, get to the point and get back to Squid Games. Your husband ain't gonna pause the movie. I know he not. Hurry up and get back. So I'm like, okay, sir, I think you found the girl. How can I help you? So he got quiet and I said, okay. So in my head, I'm like, Rochelle, turn it on and do what you do. Clearly, you got to draw out of this man why he's calling you, right? Right? So I'm in my kitchen and I'm like, okay, let me help you. How did I meet you? And he's like, well, I seen you one day when you was playing basketball. I was playing basketball at the community center or something. And I'm like, in my head, I'm not there because, again, shanking, I seen you in, I don't know, 1995, bro. This ain't registering. Get to the point. So I'm still standing here in my kitchen and I said, okay, you seen me when you was playing basketball. Next, I seen you at the supermarket and the overbite was attractive to me and I really thought she was pretty. Okay, cool. What are we doing here, sir? Well, how can I help you? I'm pretty sure 20, 30 years later, right? I'm getting agitated at this point. And he keep calling me ma'am. And it was agitating me and I don't know why, because when I'm out in the public, baby, I'll sir you or ma'am you to death because that's how I was raised. I feel like that's a sense of respect. When he was doing it to me in that moment, I felt old. I'm gonna be honest, and I didn't like it. But I didn't know who it was. So I'm gonna take the ma'am and keep going. But I'm calling him sir too, so he getting it back because that's just me. So anyway, I was like, okay, sir, what are we doing? You seen me, you met me, you like me. I used to date you if you're the girl. So in my head, I'm like, God, what you doing? Why he here? After all this time. And I said, okay, what's your name? And at first he wouldn't give me his name. So I was like, okay, he gonna play these games. We gonna keep it pushing. Hey, how you doing? I'm probably the girl. I said, but then again, I might not be. A lot of Rochelles out there in the world, and it was another Rochelle in my high school. He was like, you right. But y'all, I knew it was me because the other Rochelle didn't graduate in 95. And I'm the only person that had that ugly ass last name in my whole town, right? The whole town. Outside of my daddy, who didn't live in the town. My mama had got married and her name wasn't the same. Me and my siblings don't have the same dad, so not even my siblings had this ugly ass name, right? Last name that starts with a W. So I knew it was me. So I was like, sir, let me stop you. I know it's me. What are we doing here? Again, what are we doing here? So I said, what's your name? You still ain't told me your name. So he tells me his name. He goes, my name is Anthony and I dated you. Y'all, I still got quiet because he still didn't make no impression. So in my head, I'm confusing him with a whole nother dude I dated in high school named Jay, right? A short dude named Jay. And I was like, you know, sir, I hate to apologize, but clearly you didn't make an impression. How can I help you? What are we doing here? He got quiet. I didn't make an impression. And I'm like, nah, bro, you didn't make an impression with bro. What we doing here? Again, I'm upstairs in the bed with my husband watching Squid Games, and I'm thinking, I know probably 32 people done been shivved or shanked by now in these dang hallways, and I gotta get back to find out which numbers are still surviving. Y'all, I'm in my kitchen. It ain't registering. He got quiet and he said, I didn't make a difference. I didn't make a difference? You left me. Why did you leave me when you graduated? You didn't have to leave. You was technically an adult. Y'all, the way I knew instantly who it was after 30 years, I instantly knew. 30 years. I'm telling y'all, I gotta show y'all because I'm in my kitchen and I'm literally on my phone, like right here, right? And so when he told me who he was, and he said, so I didn't make a difference? I didn't make a difference in your life? I'm right here. I'm literally having to brace myself. Okay, y'all. I literally have to brace myself, right? I'm right here and I'm bracing myself. My knees are buckling. I'm like, is this legit real? So then I start getting panicked up and I'm like, and then I get hyped up and he has a couple of sisters, right? So I'm like, is this Rosie? And I couldn't remember the other sister's name quick enough. And Gladys is a brother. And he was like, so now did I make a difference? Y'all, when I say that the Lord showed up, it was on my list. It was a blast from the past. It was 30 years ago to be exact. Damn, the crazy thing is, it was probably 30 years to be exact, a little over 30 years to be exact. I cried so hard in my kitchen, literally. And then I was like, we got off the phone. We talked for a few more minutes and we got off the phone. And when we hung up, I stood in my kitchen like, God, this gotta be a joke. Like, this has to be a joke. I ain't been that last name in 30 years, 2 last names removed. How did this man find me? How did this man find me, right? So when I was talking to him, and I mean, literally, I had to process an array of emotions quickly. And tears was one of them. And grief was something I didn't even know I needed to shed, but I've been grieving for 3 weeks, literally, over this relationship that I lost. Y'all, I was young. The day after the Lord want me to back it up and tell y'all what happened with me and him. So when I was 18, I had enough credits to graduate that December, but I didn't want to graduate and go and be on the college campus without my peers from my high school. So I took a fluff class every morning, would leave at 9 from, I think my last hour was at my hour, I only had to do an hour at school. Then I would leave and go home, do whatever I wanted to do, work a job, whatever. I just wanted to walk with my class. So when I started dating this young man, my mom was always the type, you're not gonna get pregnant on my shift, you're not going to parties, these type of things. He was different, y'all. I liked him. This young man woke up something in me that I didn't even know was dormant. 2 weeks prior to graduation, I moved out of my parents' house. I missed curfew. My mom and dad took my car. I got upset. I'm thinking I'm grown. I move out. I move in with him. He wasn't going to my high school at the time, y'all. He came into town to move in with his dad. And it was like towards the end of the year when I met him. And so he had his own place with some friends. And he was my age, y'all. And I wasn't questioning it because I'm young and dumb. I packed my shit up so fast and moved in like, bloop, hey baby, how you doing? And I was over there every day, dumb, young and dumb, right? Just young and dumb, working my little job at Hardee's, taking my little $3.75 an hour, really thinking I'm doing something. Now that I'm a grown ass woman, I realize I wasn't, but in that moment, I thought I was. So when I graduated, my parents sat me down and was like, look, you're not about to get pregnant by this young man. We're not even doing this. I'm pretty sure you over there doing adult activities, but we not doing this. So they forced me to move to Minnesota with my older brother and his wife, and I left the very next day after my graduation. I didn't even get to say goodbye to the young man. It was just like, we kicked it that night at my graduation party. I took him home, we hung out. I came back to my parents' house. The next day I'm forced to leave, pack up all my stuff and leave. So when I got to Minnesota, it's weird because it's like I grieved and missed him and yearned for this young man. And it had only been a couple weeks that I'd been living with him, right? And I just missed him. And so what I did is I was getting ready to enroll in school to be a physical therapist. I got a job at Finger Hut, yes, the catalog Finger Hut. And I was working a job that I hated, y'all, but putting money to the side and saving and waiting on my baby to come. I was waiting on my baby to come to Minnesota. I just knew he was gonna come to Duluth and we was gonna live out our life. I'm young again, impressionable and dumb. So anyway, one day I get this phone call, and it's a call I wasn't expecting. And it was just basically saying him and a friend had went to commit a robbery, which actually threw me off because I was like, what the hell? He had left the town after I left, right? He went back to live with his mom. He didn't stay with his dad because I had left. So I got the phone call. It was his sister. A robbery had taken place on a military base, and with him and his friend. I don't know what happened, y'all, but I was told that an incident happened and somebody got killed, and her brother was looking at life in prison. I never got to speak to him again. Mind you, we had been talking every day when I was in Minnesota. This the 90s. I'm paying $0.25 a minute to talk to him. I'm pretty sure $0.25 a minute. I don't know, 10 cents a minute, because that's what long distance used to cost, right? I'm dating myself. And for y'all in the audience, it's probably, y'all remember MCI? I think my brother had MCI, right? So it might have been 10 cents a minute. But anyway, we were talking every day, hot and heavy. Hey, Anthony, hey, Ro, you know, type things. So when I got the phone call from his sister, it was devastating. 2 times I didn't physically get to say goodbye when I was forced to leave to go to Minnesota, and when the phone calls just stopped because he was going to prison. So when he called me that Saturday, 3 Saturdays ago, and upended and gave me all the feels, I said, Anthony, where you at? What you been doing for 30 years? Y'all, that man told me he's in prison. When I say all the feels, and couldn't have been nothing but God, baby, that couldn't have been nothing but God. Whew, he said, I got some yearbooks. The name let me know it was you. The last name stood out, because again, it's the only last name with the W in my town. He was like, the eyes. And for some odd reason, when people meet me, it's something about my eyes. I don't know what it is. And I feel like for some odd reason, y'all, I'm sorry, when I take my glasses off, because I don't know if it's nearsighted or farsighted, but I can't see things up close. I'm assuming nearsighted. Y'all about to find out that I'm a little dingy too. But for some odd reason, I feel like I ain't got no eyebrows, or like they're dense or sparse. I'm sorry, back to what I was saying, but my eyebrows do look dense or sparse. Oh, yeah, they do. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all getting a little bit of my scatterbrainness throughout the video. This is just me, and y'all gonna get this on the regular. So, when he told me he was in jail, prison, y'all, that couldn't have been nothing but God. When we hung up, I called that number back. He didn't answer. He didn't answer, right? And I called it back because I was like, God, I gotta make sure this is real. I know this is real. I know it is, because he told me things, y'all, that only he would know. Like, he was like, I remember when the last package I got from you, I got this package with some shoes and a card and probably some other stuff. And that's just me, because from a young girl to a grown adult, I've been a giver with the people that I love my whole life. And he said that was the last package. Y'all, I cried. I didn't even know a part of me had been missing for 30 years, right? Until that day in my kitchen 3 Saturdays ago in this corner behind my back. I grieved for what I didn't even know I had been grieving or holding on to, right? Every Christmas, I don't give a fuck who I'm with. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Every holiday, every birthday, every year, I have said a prayer. Every Thanksgiving, I have given thanks for this young man. When I got told that he was going to prison, that did something to me as a young woman. I mean, it really did something to me as a young woman, right? And I didn't even correlate the two till now that I'm an adult and it's coming full circle. It's a lot to process, y'all. Not knowing if somebody is dead or alive in prison, never hearing from them, never making contact. Just not knowing the full extent of what happened is a lot, is a lot to process. And again, I'm telling you this because clearly the Lord knows somebody needs to hear this, right? Baby, write your list every day. When you mess up and you don't do it, start over. I missed yesterday, I'm starting over. I got up to 15 days previously. Missed last Saturday and Sunday, started over. Started again this week. Missed yesterday, starting over. Try to do it consistently for 30 days. Baby, when I say that the Lord is working overtime in my life, the Lord is working overtime in my life. Make your list. Get out your way. Start speaking positivity and prosperity over your life. If you don't got the village or somebody holding space, baby, Ro gonna hold space, whether you know me or not. Let me help you help you. I feel like the Lord is telling me now, the subscribers will come, the people will come. The space will be held for people that I don't even know. And I'm ready for this challenge, y'all, and that's a huge challenge. Absorbing energy is a lot, but when you absorb it consistently, it becomes too much. I know when I need to go within. I know when I need to reach out to my village. If you don't have a village, baby, say that in the comments. If you don't got nobody to talk to, say that in the comments. If you need me to be the vibe in your life, say that in the comments because, baby, listen, I'm just one individual out here doing what the Lord is asking me to do. I ain't judging nobody. My shit ain't together. I told you, a whole blast from my past called me and been having me in shambles for 3 weeks. Y'all, this man asked me the first day that he called me, are you gonna tell your husband that I called you? And I said, Anthony, let me ask you this. And let me ask you this and you tell me what you would think. How can I tell my husband that the only man that I ever truly loved called me today and made me feel all the feels? As my husband, how would you feel? You wouldn't like that. That would hurt your feelings. Baby, I can't afford to hurt my husband's feelings. I love him. He don't deserve this. He didn't ask for this. Hell, I didn't ask for this. Well, clearly I did. I did by writing the list. And then the guy also told me, for the last month, for some odd reason, how have you been on my mind? The last 2 weeks, it got more intense. It's when I started ramping up on my list. Just to know that people care about you, even when you think you don't have somebody, means a lot. I always thought if I die tomorrow, who shows up at my funeral, right? Who's gonna show up? Have I ever made a difference? Clearly I have. He told me he'd been praying about me and thinking about me for 30 years, y'all. 30 years. I've been doing the same, though. I told y'all, I never forgot a birthday. I never forgot a holiday. I never forgot a Christmas. These are holidays we hadn't even experienced yet. I probably met this young man in March I moved from my town to Minnesota that May when I graduated. I think it was that July when the incident happened and he was gone. It was either the end of June or the beginning of July, because shortly after that, I moved back to my state and left Minnesota. I couldn't do it. I needed to be near my mom and my family that wasn't my brother and his wife, right? So I left. And I vividly remember when I drove back to my town, it was July the 7th. It was actually July the 8th of 1995. I left Minnesota on the 7th. I got home on the 8th. Yeah, I vividly remember those dates because when I was driving home, a tragic accident happened with one of my homegirls. And when I got home and my mom called me, it was like she came to me that night when she was transitioning over and spoke to me. And my mom didn't even have to tell me. Before my mom told me, I said, so-and-so is either hurt or died last night. And my mom said, how did you know? How did you know? And I said, I seen her in my dream last night. So when I say that the God that I speak with, that you speak with, that we rock with has always been a little different with me, literally different with me. And then I found out my friend had died that night. I hadn't talked to her in like 2 years. We were friends, had grew up together, but as you get up to high school, things change. My parents was mean. I couldn't go to parties. She could, my parents were strict with the boyfriends. Her mom was not. And so things was just a little different with us, but she was always my homegirl through and through. So when she spoke to me that night, y'all, I just knew. So when I'm telling you, me and God got something different going on over here, we do. When I'm telling you that God is telling me to tell y'all my business, because I don't even know why the hell I told y'all everything I told y'all. I literally told y'all a lot of business, personal business. But for some odd reason, God said somebody needed this story time. This video is long. If you made it to the end and you still here, thank you. If you made it to the end, take a breath. You cried with me, I know you did. If you say you didn't, baby, you lying. I know you cried today. You needed this. You needed this purge. You needed this sense of release. Baby, write your list. Start speaking positivity over your life. Go get what's yours in this season. Keep coming back. You need me just as much as I need you, and I know this to be true. And no matter whatever fashion you need me, I'm here holding space, leaning in, giving you what you need in this season of your life. And while I'm giving it to you, God is showing up for me. The greatest gift that this man could ever give me, he's already given me. The people that he has allowed me to hold space for, the people that he has allowed me to plant a seed in, the people that he has just allowed to let me know that I matter in this season. All week, he kept sending the people. He kept sending the people with the issues. I mean, tearful every day. People with mental breakdowns every day. Who kept showing up even through the mentalness with herself was Ro. Baby, listen, I'ma keep showing up. Cry. If you need to cry with me on the phone, you do that. If you just want somebody to sit on the phone with you and not say nothing, I'm your gal. Baby, if you need me to drag somebody for filth, again, I'm your gal. I would do that for my homegirl in a minute, or my homeboys in a minute. So on this good Saturday, or whenever you found me, whenever you tuned into this video, it's long as hell, and I know it is, and I didn't anticipate this being this long. But again, God needed you to hear what I was dishing out on this Saturday morning, right? Because baby, I had to write it down. And I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. Crashing out on Miss Rochelle's shift ain't an option. Your mama, your kids, your husband, your friends, whatever, ain't about to get that phone call. Ain't about to have that heartache. Ain't about to have that grief. Not as long as Rochelle got air in her body, right? Make your list. Start being grateful for the rejections. Start being grateful for the closed doors. I'm a hit on this and then I'm gonna leave. On the closed doors thing, I told y'all, I was manifesting another job. I applied for a job at my job to be a program manager. I'm currently a supervisor. A manager is a step up for me. I applied on my homeboy's team, who I knew I had a job in. So I'm like, hey, I know this is my job, Ron. Thank you. I was out on bereavement. The week prior, I got the email that they sent my resume on to the pharmaceutical company. That Wednesday rolled around, I was off on bereavement, but something said, baby, log in because you got that interview. I logged in. I didn't get the interview. I instantly went in my head and got upset. And then I said, wait a minute, what you doing, girl? You getting upset over a door was closed that you didn't even want open. I'm gonna tell you why. Baby, have that door opened up. Bro, you miserable at this job, but you would have stayed out of loyalty, because that's just you. And you would have went and worked on that team because you wanted to be the manager. Whole time the money ain't there, the pay ain't there, you still miserable. When I thought about that, I instantly did a praise and worship dance and messaged my homie like, they already filled that position, didn't they? He was like, yeah, bro, I'm sorry. I didn't have the heart to tell you. Bro, you good? Because the Lord has more in store for me. Soon as I said that, the very next day, boom, the job interview for the job I have. Baby, listen, when these doors don't open, praise God. When the doors don't open, praise God. When you get the rejection letters, baby, shout and do a dance. Because, baby, more is in store for you. I'm going to end this on this good Saturday. Y'all, I haven't been in front of the camera for a long time, but this just gave me a sense of vitality. Behind the camera, I felt like I wasn't being me right. I can't just showcase y'all me and my energy. And I know I'm a vibe, and I know this to be true. For those of y'all in the comments that feel like I'm not, baby, you missing out. You need this in your life. Keep tuning in, checking in. Let me hold space for you. So, I'm going to end it with this. On this good Saturday, I pray that your day is amazing. I was going to say I pray that somebody holds space for you, and I tell that to all my homegirls, but I'm realizing I am the space holder. So I hope I held space for you today. I hope you cried a little bit. I hope you went within. I hope that you know it's okay not to be okay. I hope that you know that everything is going to work out. Let me help you get to the next season. Let me help you get your confidence up. Baby, let me feed into you when ain't nobody else feeding into you, right? And as you go about your day, don't you stress nobody out. Drink your water, mind your business, manifest, pull somebody forward, and if all you did today was woke up, then baby, you did more than most, and the Lord seen something in you because he woke you up. Lead with that. Go, be great. Be all things glorious, and thank you for tuning into the Listening Hive with Ro. Have a blessed and abundant day. And again, whenever you find me, if you thought that this was the algorithms or a coincidence, baby, you're fooling yourself, not Ro. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on where you are. Have a blessed and phenomenal day, night, or evening. Goodbye, y'all.